Hey everybody, this is Paula Ritchie with OtherRealm Studio. I was totally not abandoning my desk and running to find something else before settling down. I am totally not a little bit out of breath right now. Everything's fine. Where were we? Here we are. So I was working on some deer on a golf course. And over here on the right hand side, there's this was this was sketched from a picture of the piebald deer the uh, in the sanctuary, but I might not leave them on this page. I might do something else. So I will be shuffling everything, almost everything that you see on these pages. And scooting things around. This is not anything like, well, it's like, but it's not anywhere close to being the finished product. Let me see. This needs brought up, and this needs brought forward in front of that, and this up here. I still have my reference picture for the other page, but I'll do that some other time. Right now we're going to paint more deer. Okay, so this one needs a little bit of tidying up, and this one needs to be painted in. So I'm wondering if I should go darker or lighter with this one. This one kind of turned into an interesting mixture of both dark and light. It's it's kind of amazing how different uh, deer look. I mean, at first they all sort of look the same, but then when you get to really noticing them, there's a lot of variation. So they'll have different little uh, bits of white. Um, some of them will be a lot more light on the underside, and some of them uh, will be about the same color all the way through. And some of them will have black markings. Um, there was a doe that used to hang around here a lot, but I haven't seen her much lately. She had a very dark face, like black streaks, and she was very pretty. And sometimes they'll have uh, points above the eyes. Sometimes a little bit more white on the legs, a little bit like how a horse will have stockings. But usually not that obvious unless it's also a piebald deer. something weird has been coming up when I post pictures of the work in progress. And I don't know how many of you are also digital artists or artists posting your work online, but I have now had two different accounts on two different platforms uh, that ask me if I sell. I'm like, pardon? What do you mean, do I sell? And they don't seem like real people, they seem like bot accounts. So, a little bit red flaggy. And then, I go check out their profiles. The profiles are all about NFTs. And, uh, hmm. I would definitely not be doing that with this work. So I've posted replies in comments that I reserve all rights to this work. That uh, I already have a plan for these because clearly these people are foreigners. Well, okay, they are foreigners. They say so, and they're not based in America. Um, but clearly these people are not reading and paying attention to what the post says. All they see, I mean, if they are people, they're bots. But all that they pay any attention to is the fact that, oh, there's images, there's paintings. So there's some kind of bot script that's running um, to find art. And I never see this under the AI generated garbage. Um, so I don't know if if it's exclusionary too. If it excludes um, AI generated art specifically, or if I just haven't seen it. Let's see. I'm going to adjust the position of this leg a bit so that it reads better. And this is another good reason to keep your background separate from your subjects. But I do not want to attract the attention of bots that are scraping for content to resell. I don't know what's going on. I don't think that there's any guarantee that I would be properly compensated in the first place from the kind of people who send bots to make deals. Anyway, something doesn't seem right. Okay, I think this deer is tidied up enough. Maybe lighten up the inside of the ears a little. And a little bit around the eye. Okay, now let's work on this one. I think I want to make this one darker. So, I don't know. I think you kind of have to develop a sense for when something's not right, and especially online. There's a lot of scams out there. It it really seems like sometimes everybody is trying to get a piece of you. It's like you got your weird NFT bots showing up saying uh, with their non sequiturs, uh, trying to get you to agree to things about your art. You have your random phone calls. Like I'm getting some from some scammer places, talk from different numbers too, because I keep blocking them. Um, Saying that I owe back taxes. I do not. All right, we go pay somebody good money to make sure that that doesn't happen. Uh, I do need to go online and pay taxes on my 30 bucks that I made at the Tennessee show. But this is some kind of, but that's nothing to do with the phone calls I've been getting from the scammers. Um, see, my phone number is not the one that we put down for uh, anything to do with our household accounts. So the number that they're calling is completely wrong for any of that. That's the one that I put down specifically for, yeah, whatever it was that they scraped. That that's what I use that number for. Let's see. Yeah, and still, um, it's kind of rare now, but we have gotten the call before from the people who claim to be from Windows, from Windows. Um, and they want you to go to your computer and do a bunch of stuff for them. And really, if you have the time and you get one of these calls, it's kind of nice to just keep them on the phone so that they have a little bit less time to scam somebody else who might not realize that this is maybe not the oldest trick in the book, but one of them in the world of phone scams. It was a movie trailer that I saw, um, and now I can't remember what it was. It was just the woman's name. It's a name that you associate with somebody born more like 100 years ago. Um, Ethel or Mabel or something. Um, and it's about a woman who was scammed uh, to think that she had to send money to go bail out her grandson, and her grandson shows up and he's like, "I'm fine." And on one hand, well, maybe he shouldn't be looking so shiftless. Um, but then she goes and gets revenge against, or goes and pulls a reverse heist or something. But anyway, it was it sounded good. It actually sounded like a good concept. I could totally go for a revenge story, uh, fighting back against scammers. I like the ones that uh, Mark Rober did. I mean, not just the glitter, but also the one um, working on getting the call centers in India shut down. Hmm. I don't know that this deer is ever going to look right. I don't know if I can carry it off. I mean, I'm working off of memory rather than reference. It's a it's a different sort of angle that I'm used to, and this is like an action shot that it is difficult to get reference for. Like by the time I get my phone out, the deer's gone. Hmm. So I don't know. I feel like this one's not turning out. So let's select this and cut and paste onto a different layer, and then just boom, we can hide that. There, never happened. Well, sorry so much if this session's been a dud already. Um, let's see if we can pull something from a different page. Mm, no, I don't really have many more sketches. Let's pop a new layer on this and put in some effects. Let's do, where are we? Overlay for some light. We'll do soft. We'll move to the light tone? No. Pale tone. We'll go with yellow. And we'll brush this over some of the trees. And oh, let's go look for the dappled effect. That would be good. Alright, where did we have it? It wouldn't be under pattern. No. Oh, there it is. So it is kind of subtle, but I like it. And let's go back to our airbrush. That might be a tad too much. Back that up. And we'll do a shadow layer. Tuck that under the overlay. And we will want multiply. Because we can't just leave him floating above the grass. Let's get the light grayish and the green that's a bit more on the blue side. And we'll also darken up the undersides of some leaves. The overlay layer will stop us from getting too dark. And we'll give that a save. I think this is going to work. Okay, let's see if we can do a sketch for the second half. How did my airbrush and my pencil get swapped? There. One of the good things about Clip Studio Paint is that you can rearrange everything. One of the bad things about Clip Studio Paint is that you can rearrange everything. Oh yeah, I don't have that many uh, deer with antlers. I do have reference pictures. I found them on Dropbox, so I will probably dig those up and put that on one of the new pages. Hmm. Oh, one of the things that I need to do is update my playlist on YouTube because I think since last time I have about, um, I think three new art streams to add to it. So here we have the famous red mud that you get in the South, frequently on sites that have been bulldozed. Um, and it's this really thick red clay. Not a lot really grows in it. So it takes a while for this to grow up again. So no, I'm not going to leave him buried under a mudslide. Uh, but yeah, it's not just like flat orange. It's clay. It's shiny and almost oily. And there's like a lot of mica and stuff in it. That was a funny story I heard about a vet who'd moved down here, or a veterinary assistant. She says there's something strange about the dogs around here. They're all orange. Yeah, it's not the dogs. It's just the dirt. Okay, let's blend this so it's a bit more like the color I have in mind. And I can come back and put in the ridges and the shadows of it later. Something I was working on earlier today was getting back into some traditional materials. Well, almost. I could not find all the materials I wanted. Uh, I found my calligraphy ink and it was dry. So, um, I need to go find more ink if I'm going to get back into um, using the Crow Quill pen and the calligraphy pen. To do more art. Hmm. I added color to my sketch layer. What am I thinking? Okay. Look, I can get rid of it nearly completely using the blur tool. And just erase a little bit more of this. Okay, let's do another layer on top, and we can go ahead and paint some of our deer. Now I want to make him stand out from the orange, but I don't know whether to go with making him a very light buck or a very dark buck. You know, I have not had the first sip of my tea. Still warm. I'm starting to use insulated cups now. I'm telling you, you get in the zone and you don't remember the stuff that you were looking forward to sitting down with. Hmm. Nope, this brown is just too gray. I guess we'll continue painting him dark and see how he does. So I have a piece that I was working on actual paper that I think I'll be finished with tonight. I'll go send that in and see if that's what the guy wants. Um, and if it's not, well, I guess that's that. I thought I had a very clear idea of what to send in for this particular market, and I was not able to quite hit the mark with the digital rendition. So now I'm working it out on paper since um, since they seem to be a bit more classic minded. It's kind of funny though. It seemed like for the longest time that everybody wanted digital art. Like all the guidelines are like it has to be uh, this kind of resolution, these kind of specs, um, vector art, um, or made to be reproduced. And now the pendulum is swinging just ever so slightly the other direction. There's a little bit, I don't want to promise too much, but there seems to be maybe just a tad more demand for traditional art on paper that's something real that someone sat down with and drew or painted and made. And it is a little early to hope that that's some kind of backlash against AI art. But I have seen a lot of places that say no AI, which that's nice, but they still want digital art that can be reproduced easily and conveniently on a website. Um, and I've seen a lot of people say they don't like AI art. It's plasticky. Not only is it weird and it has trouble with hands and drifts into the uncanny valley and stuff like that, but uh, even when everything's okay, it looks like plastic. So maybe it's good enough to fool around with, but it's not good enough to give your business to. But asking specifically for, or expressing a preference, I guess I should say, um, art in traditional media is something I didn't really see coming. I mean, I certainly can paint. I can paint up a storm. I can paint upside down and backwards. I do reverse paintings. Um, Oh, this right here reminds me of something. My advisor at the first college that I went to looked at my portfolio, and on there I had a picture of an elk that I had drawn from reference that was um from some nature magazine. And I had the picture was of the elk, and he's like in the middle of calling, so he's got his mouth wide open in the picture, and it showed a very good detail of his mouth. And like the there was a definite dark line because his lip was black. All right, so I had copied that faithfully from reference, and the advisor, also an art teacher in some capacity, um, uh, pounced on that as, oh, this is a mistake. You should never like draw a cartoony outline like this. I mean, forget that nothing else in the picture had that kind of line on it. Hang on, he's going to need some background color, or I'm never going to figure out what I have and haven't painted here. Um, and so I could not get a word in edgewise with this advisor. And so finally, I told him, no, I drew that from reference. Um, the reason it's like that is because it's like that in real life. The elk's lip is black, and you could see it very plainly in the photo. And he's like, oh, well, you should have brought the photo. I don't know. I drew that like last year. Or, well, a while back, and probably lost the, you know, wilderness calendar or whatever it was that I had drawn that from. Good night. But yeah, that advisor was one of the reasons why I did not continue in my art major. Okay, let me see if I can tidy him up a bit. Ah, not that much though. Okay. Alright, so it's about time for me to sign off here. I've been working about an hour. I wanted to get a little further with this guy, but it's alright. I have stuff to finish up around the house. So, let me just use this time to remind you that this is for the Magnolia Fall children's book on Kickstarter. I'm working on this now so that the book itself will be ready to go, or nearly complete, by the end of the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter ends July 7th, and early in the morning on July 7th. So I guess it would be more accurate to say it ends July 6th. Um, okay. For the little for his little spikes, I think it's appropriate to have a slightly grayish brown. Um, so if you would like to make sure that the Magnolia Phone children's book gets to print, and I'll be able to get those out in time for Christmas, then please go consider going over to Kickstarter.com and looking it up. It's the Magnolia Phone children's book by OtherRealm Studio, which is me. Um, I'm Paula Ritchie, my sister who uh, runs and does everything for Magnolia Fawn Rescue, is Connie Hall, and she is co-authoring the book. So this is going to be an excellent way to spread awareness about the fawn that are orphaned and rescued, um, about the rescue, about the hard work that Connie does, um, educating the public on what to do when encountering wildlife such as deer, and if you find a fawn in the woods and so forth. I feel like we keep emphasizing um, what to do if you find a fawn in the woods and you don't know if it's abandoned or not, but there's still people who don't know, and there's more people every day. So I guess the work is never done. You just got to keep educating people um, about how to tell the difference between, an orphaned fawn that's in trouble and one that's just waiting for its mother to come back. Because they are, I know it's hard to believe in this era of helicopter parenting, but the does just leave them all day, or nearly all day, it seems like it, and just come back when there's nobody around. It's part of the reality of being a prey animal, I guess. They don't want to draw attention to their fawns while they go out and graze. But yeah, back to the book. The book is on Kickstarter, or it will be. Um, the Kickstarter is to raise the funds to print the book, and I'm doing all the work involved in producing the book, so we don't need to raise money for that. But if we want to have print copies, which is really the best way to enjoy a children's book or an art book like this one, if we want print copies, then we're going to have to raise a little bit of capital, and that's why it's on Kickstarter. So if you pledge on Kickstarter, you can um, pledge just to contribute without a reward. Um, a couple people have done that. Or you can choose a book or a package deal with a book and an art print. Um, and I'll be able to, if we reach $1,000 raised by the time the campaign closes, then I will be able to get those printed and shipped in plenty of time for Christmas. And unless, something drastic and unforeseen happens. But there should be just enough time to do that with the way I have the Kickstarter set up now. But if we don't make the full $1,000 raised or pledged, then you aren't out any money. Your card will not be charged. You will not be obligated to do anything else. I'll send out a note to everybody saying that, you know, it didn't come through. We fell short, and I'll give y'all information on, you know, how to sign up for a notice if we try again with another Kickstarter or a different fundraiser. Because, I mean, the book's gonna happen no matter what. It's just trying to make sure that it gets done this year. Because I want to be sure that there's enough demand to run off enough copies of it. Alright. Starting to get notifications. I need to get off of here and finish up my stuff for today. Other than art. Um, let's see. Oh, yeah. And I am going to be back here again, whether you're watching this on Twitch or on YouTube. Um, I'll be back again tomorrow at 8 o'clock, unless, something drastic happens. I just want to keep going. I'm so close to getting this done. Or, well, no. Okay, let's back off here. Let's reset the display. Here we are. He's a very dark little buck, but I think he looks good. He's standing out well against the background. He's going to be eating off this tree branch, which is something that I see the deer come through my yard all the time and do. You can see that there's a little apartment complex back here, and we'll put in some, some sky and hills, and finish him up tomorrow night, I guess. So don't forget, go check out the Magnolia Farm children's book. This is what it looks like. We're about halfway through the campaign time, so we're not very far along on the goal. So if you could like and share or hit the remind me button. I feel like what we need to do is we need to reach a lot more people. I'm I've posted everywhere that I have an account, and I've gotten a few likes and shares, but I don't know. I feel like, all right, it's an open secret that uh, Facebook throttles anything that has a link in it, and then people would like to just click through simply. And instead, I've got to be careful and put the link in the comments, um, and Instagram, there's not really a way to post something with a link that you click off of Instagram, because those platforms want you to stay on that platform and just continue scrolling for the rest of your life, I guess. They forget that they are a means to an end. So if y'all could help me, um, on share this on Facebook, share this on Twitter, that's now X. Um, Tell your friends about it. That would be an immense help. I would appreciate that so much. I feel like we really haven't reached enough people. Um, in the first half of this campaign. So here's a picture of the art print that I have. Um, I did already get these printed up because it's a lot easier to do posters or prints than it is to do an entire book. So at least I have these ready to go. And you can make a pledge without a reward. You can pledge for the ebook edition. You can get a signed paperback. You can get the signed paperback sent to Magnolia Fawn Rescue. If you are local to us, then you can pick it up from there. Or you can get the book and the art print. Or if you have a lot of family members or a bookshop, you can get 10 copies for $100. And I also have, and there's my lovely sister Connie. And I also have reverse paintings on plexiglass. Two are already fall, and I have 7 blanks left, and I have a dozen completed ones, and we can hash out which one you want um, in the follow-up questions. If you want to add that to any of these pledges. I really like this guy, by the way. He's a little Fisher Grimalkin. So let's see. Yeah, if you would just give it a like and a share, and a pledge if you can, that would be greatly appreciated. All right, thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.